Hello, you are listening to Sacred Rebel Radio with YolandaShoshana, and I'm your host, YolandaShoshana, but you can call me Shoshi. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. It is a dreary Sunday in New York City. Also kind of like I like it. You know, I love like rain and fallish weather. It feels like it's fall in New York and not like it's summer. We're having a very interesting summer. We don't know if it's going to rain, sleet, snow, hail, but we're going with it. It rained a lot yesterday, which I loved. I just got caught in it. But yeah, I had a fun Saturday. First, I went to the Romance Festival in this wonderful mansion. I believe the mansion's called the Jamel Mansion. It's one of the oldest mansions in New York City. It's in Harlem. It's a beautiful house. George Washington lived there, if I'm not mistaken. It's, one of those old colonial kind of houses. Beautiful. And I got to listen to some writers talk about historical fiction, and, erotica writers were there, just, talking about where they think the industry is going and what's happening. It was nice, especially in the mansion. I love being around writers because you can learn so much, because publishing changes every day. Those of you who write know this, and we're all just trying to figure out what's the best way to get our books out there. So that was fun. And then I went to a sex toy party and had a lot of rum punch. And let me tell you, yum, yum, yum. And I had a rum cake that I felt like I was drinking a glass of rum. So it was a lovely, very sensuous Saturday, kind of how I like to rock it. So, everything's been a bit of a whirlwind, and I'm making some changes that I want to tell you about as well. You might notice that I do not have a weekly reading up this week on my YouTube channel. I'm making some changes there. So I'm going to do a combination of a vlog / tarot reading weekly, and that's going to start next week, because I was doing my vlog, The Magic, and then doing tarot, but now I'm just going to combine the two, and I'm also going to do a part of the reading here as well. So it's going to be in 1 to 2 places. That way, if you don't have time to watch the video, though, please do subscribe to my channel. You can get the reading here on the show, and if, and vice versa. So just trying something new and shaking it up. And next week, I will have a newsletter out, as I am changing the format, really changing who I distribute from. And thank you so much for your feedback. Those of you who've told me that you really like where my newsletter is going now, because I switched that up too. Just some changes. You got to switch it up so that you don't get bored, I don't get bored, and keep it fresh. Keep it fresh and hot and poppin'. So I think those are my major updates for now. I may forget something, I want to tell you about a woman I found out about this week, and I'm going to try to get her to come on this radio specifically, though I probably will run the interview on my book podcast as well, because she's got a book out. But her name is Maria Benardis, and she owns a website called Greekalicious.com. Greekalicious.com. Greek like it sounds, and delicious.com. I wanted to tell you about her because I ended up finding out about her because I went to an event she was doing, and she was making Greek food and just kind of talking about who she is and what she's all about. She's been in the United States for about a year. And she's Greek, but she grew up in Australia, so she's got this really awesome Australian accent, and yet she's making this great Greek food. The food she made was so incredible. She brings back recipes from like 3,000 years ago, and she's all about agape in her food, and that's why I'm telling you about her. She's all about love in her food and using the best ingredients. When we left, we got goodie bags filled with her extra virgin olive oil, organic, and, red wine vinegar and balsamic vinegar. She goes out to get her olive oil with the monks in Greece. Have you ever? So check out her website if you want some really great recipes, and also just to find out more about what she's doing. I'm all about love and food and spreading, good word on people that are trying to do a lot of amazing things with food, because what we eat is very important, what you're putting into your body. I love to indulge in food and drink. If you follow me, you know this, but I also am a big fan of clean eating. So check her out. And I made a really great Greek-inspired dinner on Friday night, and it really was just a couple of ingredients. And I felt so good when I woke up on Saturday. So, if you're trying to clean yourself out a little bit because you've been partying a little too hard or eating too much meat, there was no meat in my food on Friday night, but everything was so good and fresh with the feta cheese. I made like a spread. I put some feta cheese and some dates. Let me tell you, you can do a lot with just a few ingredients. So check her out. I'm also going to another Greek thing the following week, which to me is saying something about me and Greek food, because every time I eat Greek food, I wonder how come I haven't been eating more Greek food. It's so wonderful. And they ate so well. And I've discovered, too, after a little bit of research, Greek olive oil is actually the best olive oil to use. So I don't think I'm going to be going back to Italian and Spanish olive oil, unless, I have to, or unless somebody gives me some to try. But there's just something, they have a higher, I forget the word, it's this long word, but a higher concentration of something that helps with disease and, the cancers and all of that. And you can cook with extra virgin olive oil from Greece, especially if it's organic, because I don't know if you know this, but we're told in the United States not to cook with extra virgin olive oil, but that's mainly because of the chemicals in it. So do your own research, but check out Greek olive oil, because literally the night before I met Maria, I got a sample of another Greek olive oil. So I think the universe is trying to tell me something. I do not remember the name of that olive oil, but there was a woman there swearing by it, and she was gorgeous. And she was saying she knew the family that created the olive oil, and it's the best ingredients. I mean, she couldn't say enough, so I was kind of sold. So I got a tasting kit. They gave me information on how to do a tasting of olive oil, which I thought was the hottest. I'm like, oh my God. Because I was just going to throw the olive oil on a salad, but I feel a little bit obligated to do the olive oil tasting. Isn't that fancy? So anyway, check out the Greek olive oil. And I also want to recommend Greek wine to you if you haven't tried it. I find that the wine tastes cleaner. Like, there's just something that the Greeks are doing that we should catch on to. Because in the United States, we are truly messing up our food. Even when I go to Canada, I can taste the difference in food. So that's that on the healthy eating. I will talk more about it, and I am going to be posting more about that. So make sure you go to my blog, brewhouseblog.com, because there will be more information and more healthy recipes. And I got a great book called But I Could Never Go Vegan. I had that sent to me, and I'm so excited to have this book in my hands because, listen, I'm never going to be vegan. I love me some steak. And I love a hamburger, even though, beef is what it is. And also just being a vegan is not my jam, but I do eat vegan food and I do eat vegetarian food. And I'm certified as a raw chef. So I know how to, make things to where I can lose weight and clean my body out for a bit, and then, indulge in a little bit of beef or a little bit of chicken. So that's something I recommend you to do as well. It's not just for Beyonce and her 21 days. You can really make some delicious food that's vegan and vegetarian and get rid of that chicken and drop some pounds, because like I said, we are doing some crazy things to our bodies in the United States. And also that you have to be aware of some of the fruit you're eating. Just because it's fruit doesn't mean it's healthy, because we have chemicals sprayed all over. So there'll be more information on all of that. And I'll talk more about that on the show in the weeks going forward as well. And do some teachings centered around that. So next, I wanted to tell you that I have some psychic predictions on my website. I did a top 5 psychic predictions, celebrity predictions this week, because I keep getting asked about, a couple of people, and people love to know what the crazy celebrities are doing because they give us so much material, right? So I did talk about the Jin and Bin thing, and I still don't see them as in Jennifer Gardner and Ben Affleck, I still don't see them getting a divorce just yet. That's the main one I've been asked about a lot in the past few weeks. So I don't see it yet. But I forgot who else I talked about this week, because the celebrities are always doing something crazy for us to talk about. But check those out if you like celebrity predictions. And I think I'll be doing that weekly because that's just fun. Oh, I talked about Charlize Theron and Sean Penn and how they've broken up, which, since they didn't get married quickly, I didn't think they would last. Had they gotten married very quickly, then, things would probably still be okay. But I would love to love Sean Penn, but he's not known for being a nice person. Yes, Charlize is known for being a diva. It is what it is. But Sean has a history of abusing women, and he was going to adopt Charlize's son. So I think that that's something to consider. She has a child to consider. And then I wrote, maybe he can finally get back with Madonna. I don't know why, but I can totally see Sean and Madonna getting back together one day. And I've said this for years, like timing's always been off. But I could see them at least having a couple of quickies now that they're both kind of single. Isn't Madonna single as far as I know? So I could see something going off with that. So let's kind of watch and see what happens. But anyway, those predictions are on my blog, Bruja's blog, and check that out. So, Periscope is the new social media hotness right now, and I don't know if I'm going to do anything from Periscope or not. I keep asking myself, what will I do differently on Periscope? I thought about doing my readings there. Maybe I will report from some places every once in a while. Then I was thinking maybe I could do something on Wine Wednesday, talk about wine on Periscope. I'll figure it out, maybe, or not. I wonder if Periscope has staying power. And I say that because right now, most people are not talking about anything interesting. They're talking about, oh, well, I don't know what to eat, and my kids are here, which is great, but that's kind of what Twitter already is doing. And so the novelty will wear off if people don't get interesting. The T-Mobile CEO is on there, and he was cooking yesterday. That was kind of fun to see, him cooking in his kitchen. And this morning he was doing something. I don't know what he was doing, but he's actually trying to make it a little bit interesting. So, cause he opened up his crock pot and we got to see what he was up to, which I love a good crock pot. You know me. So I don't know. That's why I don't know if I want to jump on the Periscope bandwagon or not. Cause right now the Periscopes are a little meh. And I keep trying to find interesting ones. And right now it's just kind of meh. So it might be hot now and fall off later. I think people will always use it, but I'm not sure where it's going to go after this. And also Twitter still doesn't know how to make any money. It's owned by Twitter. So are they going to suck us in and then later charge us for something? Like, I'm just trying to see what they're going to try to do. I know right now there are Periscope summits being put together. Like, there's going to be a summit on the West Coast and a summit on the East Coast, which might be interesting. And it's all about how to use Periscope and how to brand yourself with Periscope and everything. But once again, the audience needs to be attentive. And if they there are people that will come to see a particular brand, but for how long? Because the attention span is short. So you let me know if you're on Periscope. You can find me at YolandaShoshana on Periscope, and let's see if we can make some fun on that platform, right? So I want to bring up two things before I get into the chakra teaching. I want to bring up Mariah Carey and Malika Rock. Am I saying her name right? I've just been a little disappointed at how people are coming after these two women. So Malak Rock, Chris Rock's soon-to-be ex-wife, is seeking half of their $70 million, and people are just going at her and calling her a gold digger and, all kind of stuff because she wants half. And I just found it interesting because finally I saw an article, and it was on BET. It was an opinion piece, finally, somebody said, stop calling her a gold digger, and why isn't she entitled? And I have to agree. There are these women that go after celebrities' money all the time, and, you're not calling her a gold digger. And I think she's put in a good amount of time. They've been married for a long time, and 3 kids later, she gave up her career, and some woman said that is a choice, which I do fully agree, because she did not have to give up her career, because if anybody could have afforded a nanny, it's them, right? That I agree with. But it was mainly women who were coming after her. And I always say perspective is an interesting thing, because if any of those women were married to Chris Rock or anybody else who had money, more than likely they too would be asking for half. Because if she got paid out the amount of money it actually would cost to pay a mother who does housework and everything, she might come close to what she's asking for. She wants to keep her lifestyle. I say nothing wrong with that. Why not? And here's the important thing that I would love to bring up, because some men and some women said, no, Chris Rock, built his career and he's the one doing X, Y, and Z. Well, he would not be able to do X, Y, and Z if it were not for her holding down the fort at home. They are seeking joint custody, and now his kids are old enough to where that's kind of okay. They're all like teenagers, if I'm not mistaken, or close to being teens. One may be 9 or 11 or something. But they're old enough now to where if you leave somebody with a nanny or, they're old enough to almost start taking care of themselves a little bit more. They're not babies. So that work is done. I mean, now teenage years is crazy. But I just want people to put that into perspective. And I will never forget when he married her, somebody asked him how he knew she was the one. And he said, because she made me need her. I knew that I needed her. When I came home, my laundry was done. When I came home, things were taken care of. And the other women that he was dating and seeing had not done that. Which is what I always tell women as well. Like, if you want to get your man or get the man that you have your eye on, how are you standing out? Because at the end of the day, I'm sure Chris Rock had plenty of pussy thrown at him. However, she came at it from a different angle. So I would love for people to remember that. He was the one who brought that up and said she took care of a lot of things. So if she took care of a lot of things when they were dating, imagine the things she took care of when they got married and have their 3 kids. I say high five to her. I hope she gets half. I actually, in my predictions column, I said I don't think she's going to get half, but she will come damn near close. Their prenup has expired. They have both admitted it. Chris Rock has admitted it. I think at the end, he will do what's right for her. He will still have his $35 million. He will make more money. $35 million is more than enough for him to live off of. And, she deserves her amount as well. So, and I also want to bring up Mariah Carey. Now, I love me some Mimi, and I don't think I'm being biased in this, though some of you may not agree, but I saw a lot of hate coming at Mariah Carey because she's allegedly dating a guy named James Packer, who is a billionaire. What? And he's Australian. So people were saying, oh, he's ugly, or this won't last, and she's crazy, and somebody made a comment on my page that they think she's settled. And I'm like, hold up. She's been going through a not so good divorce. Packer allegedly started chasing her and really wanted to date her. And they're in Italy right now, like on his yacht or something. So in terms of settling, I think Mariah deserves a little bit of fun. She is a single woman. And I want to bring that up because I think this is something that single women face as well. And not just the Mariah Careys, but single women where friends and people make comments and they influence our happiness. Because so this billionaire guy who's probably worldly and cultured and got a sexy Australian accent is chasing Mariah Carey. Meanwhile, she hasn't really dated anybody. She's been going through a nasty divorce. And this, wealthy guy says, hey, girl, I got a yacht. I want to take you to Italy. What would you do? You go to fucking Italy. Are you crazy? Of course you go, because nobody says she's got to marry this man nor shack up with him, but she deserves a little bit of fun. She deserves to go to Italy and have a ball. So I don't understand all the hate. Well, I mean, I do. because people want to find a reason to complain. And while everybody's complaining and saying Mariah's settling and this looks awful and blah, 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 she's on the yacht having a good time. I wish we as women would stop being so hard on each other and stop the hatery. Normally, the hatery is coming from their own shit. So that is my message to you in terms of when it comes to dating. If you are dating someone new and you like them, keep enjoying it. Don't listen to what other people are telling you. Now, wait, but I will say this. If you are dating somebody that's the killer or somebody that might be a little, I don't know, there's something questionable about them. Now, maybe there's something to listen to, but a lot of times, people's own stuff is coming at you when it comes to relationships. They'll tell you that you shouldn't date the garbage guy because he, tosses garbage and you can do better. But you know what? At the end of the day, the garbage guy, from my understanding, they make pretty decent money. And if the garbage guy is the guy who is making you happy and Mr. White Collar over there is mean and nasty to you, why not go with blue collar guy? Go with the person that really makes your heart sing, no matter what your friends are telling you. And if you're dating somebody new, maybe you don't want to say too much at the beginning so that other people are influencing your decisions. Make your own and have fun. Allow yourself to have some love and pleasure in your life. All right. So I want to do a little bit on the throat chakra. We're on the throat chakra now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm remembering this, so I hope I'm right. So I think the throat chakra is where we're at, which is, of course, in your throat. Your throat chakra is where your communication and self-expression is, and a lot of people hold back. So you might sometimes feel like energy is stuck in this area. But when it's balanced, you're able to listen and communicate very, very well. So I highly recommend, if there's somebody you want to talk to, but you're scared to do it, whether it's your boss, your lover, your parents, maybe you want to write it down, because that's helpful too. While you're not necessarily saying it, it's still communication and you've got to get it out, because the more you hold back, it becomes a habit. And you don't know that you're doing it. You'll just keep things stuck in that area. And it's important to get rid of that because it becomes painful. Energy is not flowing right. And your communication skills go down, and it will affect everything else that is going on in your problem. In your life, and cause a problem. So it's just something that you want to pay attention to. Also, sometimes this chakra is weak because of lack of communication. If you're more on the quiet end or you don't like to cause trouble, a good way to get things out is, once again, like I said, writing. Maybe you want to do something artistic to help you communicate what's going on. If you're off balance, you might lie a little bit. You might be worried. Yeah, so basically this is a really important chakra, like all the other chakras, and this is really where your communication sets in. I think that's clear, and that makes sense. So if you want to get some crystals to help you with your throat chakra, like a blue quartz is good, and turquoise. I think turquoise is a beautiful thing. You can put that under your pillow or hold it and put an intention in there. That way it can help you to speak better, and maybe your dreams will help you. That's why I always recommend people to put things under their pillow, because when we're dreaming, it's giving us messages. So a little turquoise under your pillow, or you could carry around a little turquoise, or a turquoise necklace even, or a blue quartz necklace, especially right near your throat chakra. How wonderful is that? Some essential oils that would be good for you to use are, one of my go-tos, that frankincense, because that will help ground you. Chamomile. Chamomile is a great essential oil. I forget about it every once in a while. It is calming. It is soothing. It would help you be with ease, say the things that you want to say. And even sandalwood, another grounding one. If you are having trouble in this area, you might want to get a carrier oil and put a little on your throat chakra. Carrier oil could be olive oil, back to the olive oil, or some grapeseed oil, some things you cook with. So you can put a little bit of drops in that carrier oil and put it on your throat chakra so that it can help you and it can move the energy around because you want that energy flowing and going. So, you can also, if you want to cleanse your throat chakra, apples are good, and peaches. They really open up your throat chakra. I love apples anyway. I always recommend apples because apples are such a magical fruit. They really are. So, you know, you can find apples anywhere and everywhere. You could also cleanse with lemon. Lemon is great as well because it also, the smell of lemon and just lemon in general gives an uplifting kind of vibration. So that would help to lift the vibration in your throat. So basically with the throat chakra, don't forget to say what's on your mind. And if you can't say what's on your mind because, once again, there's some authority over you, in terms of a boss, or, you know, that person's going to take it in the worst possible way. You know, write it down for yourself. If you have a partner you need to talk to and you know that verbal communication is not the way, write a letter. Just be creative in terms of how you verbalize things and also actions. You can communicate through your actions and use your other chakras to do that. And your throat chakra will open up because that is still a part of the throat chakra, like your actions. Because the more you close up that throat chakra, the more it's going to affect everything else. So, make this a week of communication, and see where it takes you. So, and next week we're going to be moving on up to our third eye, and, we're almost closing out on this chakra series. We got 2 more to go, and then we can go on to some other stuff. The chakras they're groovy. They really inform so much about what is going on with us. So it's important for us to keep them moving and grooving. So, since I didn't do a tarot card reading, I pulled some angel cards to see what message the angels have for us. A little bit of angel therapy is about to take place right now, just to give us a little bit of guidance through the week, and help us out and help us reach our higher selves. So, singing and dancing, I love that because basically it says have more fun. So it's time to express yourself and awaken your senses and your magical powers. And you can do that through music and movement. It's kind of like, this kind of goes with that throat chakra, like it's time to express yourself. So it's going to be a very magical week centered around those things. So expression is good. Kick it off on Monday. Kick it off tomorrow. If your boss asks you a direct question, be honest about the answer. If your lover asks you a direct question, be honest about the answer. If you don't have a lover and you're going on a date, be honest about your answers, because in the long run, it pays off for you to express yourself and not stress yourself. And then what came up was shield yourself from negative energy by envisioning healing around you. And I love that because this is something you should be doing at all times anyway. Keep that negative energy out of your aura. It is up to you. It is a choice. You have a choice in whether or not you play in the negative play field or the positive play field. Pick the positive play field. We have a hell of a lot more fun. Negativity is kind of, if you can picture it, think of kids laying around on the couch and just, being kind of slothish. That's what the negative playground feels like. Everybody's like, "Ugh." But in the positive playground, we're having a ball. We're skipping. We got flowers. We're drinking wine. And we're having a good time. So come on over to the positive play field and play with us. We invite you to be here with us. And then the last card was crystals, and get some crystal energy and crystal love in your life. Crystals are a good thing to have around you. It can really help the vibration. I always recommend quartz. Quartz are filled with love and light. They're a good place to start and really bring in some positive energy. But go to the stones that make you feel good. The ones that you are attracted to, go to a store and start holding stones. The stones that want to be with you right now will jump out. And it's fun to like put them in your hand to see what vibrates, just to see what happens and everything. I love doing that. So get some stones and crystals in your life and it should be good. So let's take this message from the angels and see what we can manifest this week. I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty amazing week already. I've got some fun stuff planned. I hope that you do too. You should always have some fun stuff planned. And I want to leave you with a little food for thought, like a little quote. What you resist persists. What you accept flows. What you resist persists. What you accept flows. It's time for you to surrender and allow goodness to come into your life. It is your choice. You are a divine being. You can have an amazing life if you choose to let it in. It's time. Everything that you want and everything you desire is closer than you think. You may have to put in a little bit of work, sometimes a lot of work. You may have to watch others accomplish it before you do, but it's all good, because if you continue to stay on the path and you continue to have faith, it will come to you. And sometimes what's amazing about being on that path and asking for what we want is we get something else that we never thought was possible, something even better. So as you go through the week, remember what the angels had to say to us, and remember that what you resist persists, and what you accept flows. I hope you have an amazing week. I will talk to you next week. We will continue our chakra teaching. Feel free to write me with any questions. I will go back to the question and answer next week. I just wanted to take a little break from that. But yeah, keep sending in your questions. I have a lot of them still, but keep sending in questions. There is no dumb question. No question is too small or too big. And I will answer. I pick randomly. I will answer unless, of course, now every once in a while I have somebody who will tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, Shoshi, I sent you a question, please." Or they revamp their question. You can do that too. So may the road rise to meet you. And last but not least, I absolutely and I positively love you. If you'd like to schedule a reading with me, you can write me at shoshi@YolandaShoshana.com. My reading and spiritual guidance calendar is full for the next 2 weeks, but I'm scheduling for after that. You can also get a reading by email and MP3, just as easy. And I do those all the time because I'm always up late and I love doing readings at 2 and 3 in the morning. It's fun for me because I have a lot of spiritual energy coming in and out of my apartment. So you can also just get a email reading or MP3 reading at any time. And it doesn't matter where you live to schedule readings with me. Since I am a clairvoyant, I can see you wherever you are. Alrighty, take care. And I absolutely and I positively love you. Namaste.